What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about fasting. Fasting has helped me tremendously. It's helped me to lose a lot of weight. It's helped me to learn how to track nutrition and all that stuff. It's helped me to balance my hormones. It's done quite a few things for me, as well as all the benefits that you get from autophagy and mitophagy, which we'll be learning about here in a second. And energy. You get lots of energy while you're doing it as well. It's not a bad thing to incorporate. I would say every 2 weeks or once every 2 weeks, I would say, if you're on a weight loss journey. So with that being said, guys, this is from the same guy as the last video. And let's get into it.
This is crazy. What if I told you going without food for 2 days will transform your health? Look, doctors will never tell you this, but I'll be going through a timeline on what happens inside of your body hour by hour when you go without food for 48 hours, starting at the 12-hour mark all the way to the 48-hour mark and everything in between. You're going to be super shocked. And I'll be addressing at the end of the lesson the best ways to do this type of fast, how to break it, what breaks a fast, and so much more. Let's start with what is happening inside of your body.
That's very important too, guys. What you use on a fast, whether it be you're trying to use some kind of flavored water or something like that, it can break the fast and completely ruin it. So you want to be really careful what you're eating, but we'll get into that.
Body when you go just 12 to 14 hours without food. At the 12 to 14 hour mark, two major benefits start to happen. Number one, you complete digestion. It takes about 14 hours to complete digestion, and it takes a lot of energy to digest food. So there's a process called energy diversion that is turned on around this time frame of a fast.
Energy diversion. Once you guys have digested all the food in your stomach, which is 14 hours according to him, energy is no longer being used to digest that food, and that energy then gets diverted to healing and other things such as that. So if your stomach is digesting food all night long because you stuffed it full right before you went to bed, guess what? You're not getting much healing benefit because all that energy is going to digestion.
Energy diversion is this. Your metabolism requires a lot of energy to digest food. When you complete digestion, the energy that was used for digesting food is now diverted for healing. Blood flow is sent to the brain. Healing is sent to the liver, the organs, the kidneys, wherever your body, your innate intelligence sends it. This is energy diversion. So that's one major process that is happening just at 12 to 14 hours in. The second thing happening here is you start to lower the hormone insulin. If one of your goals is to burn fat, stubborn belly fat, visceral fat,
this is really big for a lot of people. This would be what I would say is the number one problem for 90% of the people or the population that are overweight and can't shred that weight off. I would be willing to put money on it that their insulin levels are out of whack, and this helps to bring that insulin level back down into check very quickly. If you were to apply this, once a week for even a month, I imagine that would drastically change your A1C levels on your blood tests.
Fat around your organs. It's all about lowering insulin. And you'll see during the 48 hours here, the insulin drops dramatically, but around the 12-hour mark, it starts to drop. So you start to shed extra water weight. You start to feel less puffy, less bloated, and you have more energy through the energy diversion process. All of this is happening just 12 to 14 hours in. But hold on to your metabolic hats. It gets way better as we go through this timeline. 16 to 17 hours in with this fast with no food, here's what's happening inside of your body. You start to ramp up a process called autophagy. Autophagy is a process that cleans out cells inside of your body that are damaged. These are cells that are not producing energy well. They're not burning fat for fuel. Your human body innate intelligence is so freaking remarkable. When you go 16 to 17 hours without food, your body thinks, whoa, are we going through a famine? What's going on? There's no energy coming in. You see, the innate intelligence in the human body doesn't understand that we could go on the cell phone, click Uber Eats or DoorDash, and have somebody with food knocking on your door in 45 minutes, or walk over to the kitchen and get food. It doesn't understand that. It is hardwired for the old school. So what happens is your body thinks, whoa, we need to use energy, or I should say we need to get energy from damaged cells. Autophagy is that process where Pac-Man is going through your cells, looking for damaged cells, using it for energy, cleaning up those cells, and helping those cells function better. It's one of the best things you can do for your body for detoxification, disease prevention, and also this autophagy process is helping, and there's a mitophagy process happening where your mitochondria.
So one thing I want to add is autophagy has been linked to when you lose a lot of weight fast and you get that loose skin that a lot of people have to have surgically removed. From what I've been researching over the last little while here, I've studied a few different people that have done it, from 600 pounds and dropped a tremendous amount. And there was a big difference. Some of them came out with no loose skin. The skin just kind of came back with them. Now, what I've heard and what I've read is that this is linked to autophagy. The autophagy goes through, it eats and repairs the cells that have become unelasticized, so they're not as elastic anymore, which is why your loose skin stays out. So the autophagy comes through and it cleans up those cells and gives them more elasticity, which allows your stomach to shrink down with your stomach, allows your skin to shrink down with your stomach as opposed to coming mad loose. Now, I do believe you have to kind of lose the weight at a slower pace. You can't just drop it off super fast with some GLP-1 Ozempic shit. But, that's been linked to autophagy, loose skin. Check it out.
These energy battery packs within your cells are also getting cleaned up, which helps tremendously with fat loss and also with anti-aging and longevity and all the things you want. So autophagy is ramped up during the 16 to 17 hour mark of a fast. And as you continue throughout this fast, autophagy continues to increase and increase. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. So what happens next? 20 hours into the fast, ketosis accelerates. You're now burning fat for fuel, not dietary fat, because you're not eating, but your own body fat. That means you're using your love handles, your belly fat, your visceral fat as an energy source. And your metabolism is using those fat stores, your energy stores, your fat stores as energy, and it's sending those fatty acids from your body fat to your liver. Your liver is using those fatty acids for fuel, and your liver is producing ketones. You may have heard of the keto diet. Look, keto is not a diet. It's a metabolic process, and you turn on this metabolic process about 20 hours into this fast.
The process is called ketosis. That's why it's called the keto diet, as you're putting your metabolic state into a state of ketosis.
Those ketones are really important for brain function, anti-aging, for conditions like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, PCOS. Those ketones.
The way I can sum ketones up to people is it's like premium fuel, right? So when you're running on anything other than that, you're running on normal, regular fuel. When you start running on ketones, it is the brain's preferred fuel. You are running on premium fuel at that point, damn near racing fuel.
Ketones actually communicate. They start communicating with your mitochondria, and it signals to them, hey, reproduce, create more mitochondria. This is called mitochondrial biogenesis, and this is happening 20 hours into the fast where they're duplicating. Why?
Mitochondria, your energy source. This is the source in your cells that creates your energy. It's called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That is the energy that's your energy. That is your energy.
Why is this important? With the creation of these new mitochondria, there's a huge increase in energy production. Actually, there's a 400% increase in your energy production 20 hours in from these ketones. This means you have more energy, you have more clarity, but for fat loss, this is tremendous because with the increase in energy, it raises your basal metabolic rate, which is your metabolism's ability to burn fat, to burn calories without having to track calories. So you're producing more energy, lowering inflammation, burning more calories, the 20-hour mark into the fast. This is absolutely incredible, but it continues to get better. Let's shift into 24 hours in the timeline here. There are two incredible things happening when you go 24 hours without food.
Now, I just wanted to state, guys, you don't want to rush into a 48-hour fast or even a 24-hour fast. You want to kind of work your way up. They call it the fasting muscle. You want to start with like 12 hours to 14 hours to 16 hours to 20 hours to 24 hours, right? You just want to keep bumping it up each time. You do not want to just go straight for a 48-hour fast, man. It probably won't happen too smoothly.
The first thing is that you activate intestinal stem cells. If you struggle with feeling a little bloated after meals, maybe you have acid reflux, GERD, your digestion is just not optimal, this 24-hour mark is going to really benefit you because your intestinal stem cells start repairing themselves and producing, and essentially this is how it works. You have this intestinal lining where you have something called tight junctions, and when you have digestive symptoms, those tight junctions are opened up. It creates leaky gut, and it leads to digestive issues. It could also lead to autoimmune conditions if it's not reversed. During 24 hours without food, your digestive system is just healing and repairing, and there's a surge in intestinal stem cells, and you're actually healing that gut microbiome 24 hours in. The second thing happening 24 hours in is there's a surge in human growth hormone. If you want to burn fat, anti-age, build muscle,
Human growth hormone is a steroid, guys. A lot of, I mean, it's naturally in you. You make it naturally, but it's used as a steroid as well. Wrestlers, NFL players, all these guys, they will inject HGH, human growth hormone, and they'll pay a damn fortune for it too. This creates it naturally, and wait and listen to just exactly how much it will create.
human growth hormone is one of those hormones that help you accomplish all of that. It's such a key hormone for metabolism that celebrities pay their doctors thousands of dollars every month for their doctor to inject human growth hormone because of all the benefits. Now, there are side effects to getting it exogenously through your doctor because then your body stops producing as much of it. It's called a negative feedback loop. But get this, 24 hours into a fast, studies show there is a 2,000% increase.
2,000% increase. 2,000. Who needs freaking steroids when you got this?
Increase in human growth hormone in us men and a 1,300% increase in human growth.
Now, that goes up that high, guys, specifically to preserve your muscle at this point, as the human growth hormone has a preservative effect on the muscle in your body. It's giving you this growth hormone because you've been without food for so long. It's trying to preserve the muscle on your body.
Hormone in women. It makes sense. You see, the body is really smart. When you have that increase in human growth hormone, you're using stored fat for energy, you're preserving muscle mass. It's absolutely remarkable, but it gets better. I feel like those infomercials, but wait, there's more. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just giving you some incredible information. So yes, but wait, there is more. 30 hours in, what happens next? This is where the real metabolic magic really starts to ramp up. There is a process that gets increased during a 30-hour water fast. It's called BDNF production and mitophagy. So it's two processes. BDNF stands for brain-derived neurotropic factor. All right, what the heck does that mean? BDNF is miracle grow for the brain. It's brain fertilizer. It allows your neurons.
Remember I don't know if any of you watched my last video, but I mentioned how you get ketones and it makes you super smart. This is what he is talking about.
Which are cells in your brain cells, to connect with each other more efficiently, create new connections, new pathways. This is really important because we know these brain disorders like Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's are unfortunately increasing. We want to prevent it. We also just want to have mental clarity, less brain fog. BDNF is how you do that. This is why I believe every religion practices some form of long fasting,
Also, guys, that's one thing that every religion on the planet will agree on is fasting. Every religion on the planet agrees on fasting.
Teaching you here. They didn't understand BDNF when they put this in the religious textbooks, but they understood that when you produce BDNF, It's this spiritual, incredible connection to God, Mother Nature, the universe, whatever you believe in. There's something special that I cannot explain when you feel this surge in BDNF that you could only feel. And you'll feel it when you're 30 hours into this fast. It makes you more creative, more productive, more mentally clear. It's absolutely incredible. Now, with that process of BDNF, there's an increase in mitophagy within the brain. So the brain cells have the highest concentration of mitochondria more than any other cell. Most cells have a few hundred to a few thousand of these energy power plants called the mitochondria. Your brain, there are regions in the brain cells that have upwards of 2 million mitochondria in a single cell. So during this mitophagy process where your cells, your innate intelligence are cleaning up damaged mitochondria, that's happening at a huge level in the brain cells. So it's cleaning out the junk. So you get the brain fertilizer with new brain cells and BDNF, your body.
It's replacing mitochondria that have gotten stuck into a sugar burning mode. So because us people eat sugar in every single freaking thing every day, multiple times a day, all day long, or most people, your mitochondria, the energy powerhouse, gets stuck. It's supposed to burn fat and sugar, but it gets stuck in a sugar burning state, just as it would, anything would if you just jam it into one gear for freaking ever. You know what I mean? So it gets stuck on sugar. And this process cleans it up. So your mitochondria start using fat again efficiently, as opposed to just being stuck in that whole sugar burning mode. They pretty much stop burning fat. So this is super beneficial.
Is finding damaged cells in the brain, damaged mitochondria, and clearing that. What an incredible 1-2 punch to prevent these brain disorders. Let's shift on into 36 hours into this fast. This is called the ultimate fat burn, deep ketosis part of your fast. At this point, you're going to notice, whether you're measuring it or just how you feel, a surge in ketones. This is going to lower inflammation. This is going to improve your detoxification pathways. It's going to support your liver, and it's going to accelerate fat loss, because as those ketones go up, as I mentioned earlier, there's an increase in energy production, lowering of the insulin, lowering of the inflammation, and you start to really burn fat while you just sit on your butt or go for a walk, whatever you choose. But you're burning more calories, burning more fat because of this surge in ketones. And you could track your blood ketones. You'll see a surge in those ketones. So you're going to feel less inflamed, less joint pain, better brain function, and you're going to start crushing, melting stubborn fat. This brings us to 48 hours into the fast. Congratulations, you made it, and this is the apex of the fast. There are two incredible things happening here: apoptosis and a dopamine reset. Let's start with the apoptosis. I already mentioned that throughout this fast, especially starting at the 16 to 17 hour mark of a fast, autophagy gets turned on, that cellular cleaning process. Now, 48 hours in, a lot of autophagy has occurred, and there are cells inside of your body that cannot be fixed. They cannot be recycled. Autophagy cannot get to them. They're called senescent cells, and when they're in your immune system, they're called immunosenescent cells. These cells lead to diseases like cancer, heart disease, autoimmune conditions. They're problematic, and they're also called zombie cells. I write about them in.
So with this process, you are literally cleaning up diseases out of your body, potential diseases, disease that's building up, cancer that's building up, all that crap is getting wiped out of your body doing this fast.
My brand new book, Metabolic Freedom, I talk about them as zombie cells. They actually infect other cells and they age you faster. Apoptosis is the process that is really ramped up 48 hours into a fast that clear out these zombie cells, because here's how it works. When you go through autophagy and your cells, your metabolism starts to clean out those cells, if a cell is senescent, a zombie cell, it has no function, then a signal is sent to get rid of that cell altogether. This is called apoptosis, programmed cell death. But you don't just get rid of a cell. There's something else really cool that happens here. A new stem cell is produced. Stem cells are all the rage in the anti-aging space. They work. You get them injected from the right source, anti-ages you, heals the body. It's incredible. But you can get free stem cells with a 48-hour fast. And those stem cells, your innate intelligence will send that cell to your heart, your kidneys, your liver, your brain, wherever that cell is needed, it is sent there. That is all happening 48 hours. And the second thing here that's also remarkable is you completely resensitize the dopamine receptor sites in your brain. What does that mean? A lot of people who struggle with unhappiness and sugar addiction, social media addiction, they're not satisfied in life. They have something called dopamine resistance.
This also helps with depression, guys, tremendously, as I overcame a bout of depression, and I fully believe that this had a lot to do with it.
Similar to insulin resistance, where you've gotten so many of these dopamine hits. Dopamine is that feel-good hormone where you need more to feel the same way. And it leads to emotional eating. It leads to sugar addiction, drug addiction, social media doom scrolling. So
I mean, it really does make you feel good. There's no bullshit there. You feel like $1 million. I felt like I was 20 years old, and I'm 43. Go figure.
Happens 48 hours into a fast, those receptor sites called the D2 receptor sites for dopamine become resensitized, meaning you need less of that sugar, the social media, whatever it is to get the same feeling of happiness. It's an incredible process that's happening during the 48-hour mark. So that is how you do it. Now, I want to address the most common questions asked regarding this process. Before I get there, in just a couple of days from the launch of this podcast episode and YouTube video, we are doing a 3-day fat burn challenge. It's free. It's virtual. Join me for 3 days. An hour-and-a-half session every day on Zoom where I'll teach you how to burn fat, how to restore the metabolism, all taking from my book, the principles of my book, Metabolic Freedom. So reserve your spot. It's free, but we do have limited capacity. Go over to burnfatchallenge.com or click the link in the notes down below or scan the QR code if you're watching on YouTube, burnfatchallenge.com. Let's get to your questions. Can I take supplements or medications during a 48-hour water fast? For supplements, I do not recommend any supplements with the exception of minerals and unflavored electrolytes and maybe potassium and magnesium. Those are fine. I don't recommend any other supplements because I don't want you to push your innate intelligence to any direction during a fast. You want to let it do its thing. Medication, I cannot tell you to take or not take medication. You follow that as instructed by your doctor. Is a 48-hour fast safe for women, especially around their menstrual cycle? Women do practice fasting differently than men. For women who have a menstrual cycle, you do not want to practice this 48-hour water fast the week before your menstrual cycle. That is the week to build progesterone and estrogen, and fasting will not help with that. The best week to do it for women who have a menstrual cycle is your bleed week. When you actually have your period, that's the best week to do it. What if I get dizzy, fatigued, or have headaches during the fast? Should I stop? It's your call. I have noticed that increasing your minerals and electrolytes during a fast could help with that.
That's tremendous, guys. He doesn't state that enough. That is huge. Electrolytes, you definitely want to make sure you are keeping your electrolytes up, or you can have all sorts of screwy issues. Tiredness, headaches, dizziness, your eyes will twitch, your muscles will twitch, weird issues. You might want to get a supplement for sure, an electrolyte supplement, maybe even some extra magnesium on top of it.
You don't want to be
I have to take an extra electrolyte supplement plus magnesium on top of it.
too active and busy during a fast. And you also want to build up to the fast, and I'll explain how to do that, but you don't just go into a 48-hour fast without preparing for it. So that's important. We'll talk about that in a minute. How often should I do a 48-hour fast? Weekly, monthly, or just once? It depends on how much extra weight you have. A good rule of thumb is once a month, but if you have more than 30 or 40 pounds of fat, every other week would also be a good idea. Can I still do a 40-hour fast if I have blood sugar issues like prediabetes or type 2 diabetes? I will say this. Work with your practitioner on this, but a 48-hour water fast is one of the best things you can do to reverse prediabetes and type 2 diabetes when it's done the right way. So work with your practitioner on that. Will fasting...
Something I want to throw in. Fasting is great, and I believe he's going to mention it right here, actually. If you do it too much, it will slow your metabolism down as your metabolism matches the amount of food intake that you're bringing into your body. That's the key here, guys, is to eat enough healthy food to keep your calories low enough that you're not putting on fat, but you're putting enough food in your body to keep your metabolism running. Muscle also adds more metabolism to your body. It gives you more metabolism the more muscle you have. So what I recommend is if you're going to be applying a fasting regimen like this once every 2 weeks, once a week, once a month, whatever it is, make sure that, you apply a feast day as well, a day where you eat in a surplus of calories to bring the metabolism back up. It's very important, the feast fast thing. It's you need both of them. If you just keep fasting, you'll just crash your metabolism. So you need that feast day to bring everything back up.
Slow down my metabolism if I do it too much. Yes, it will. It will. That means if you did one meal a day every day for months and years, you'll have a negative effect. But doing a 40-hour water fast once a month or every other week will not slow your metabolism and actually support your metabolism. But too much of a good thing could be a bad thing. So we have to find that sweet spot. What should I eat when I break my fast? Great question. We want to refeed low and slow. Here are the best options.
Now, if anybody does a longer fast, I want to point this out that there is a condition called refeed syndrome. If you do like a 6-day fast, you have to understand how to bring food back into your system properly. And that's using things like bone broth, yogurt, really easy to digest things at first. You want to look up how to do it because you can actually kill yourself or become extremely sick with what's called refeed syndrome if you try to digest something that your body just is going to reject because you haven't eaten in so many days.
To break a long fast with. Bone broth is great. Or
bone broth.
Eggs, scrambled eggs, lightly scrambled, and avocado is great, and maybe a protein shake. So go low and slow. Can I drink bone broth, electrolytes, or exogenous ketones during a fast, or does that break a fast? The bone broth will break a fast. Electrolytes that are unflavored does not break a fast.
Anything with calories, guys, is pretty much going to break that fast.
Exogenous ketones do not break a fast. They could actually support the fast. How do I build up to this fast? Well, I have a lot of content. I'll be sharing on my 3-day challenge how to build up to a fast like this, how to do different fasting schedules for fat loss. So join me over at burnfatchallenge.com. But you want to build up, first do an 18-hour fast, 24-hour fast, 30-hour fast, and then you should be ready for a 48-hour water fast. I really hope to see you on that challenge so I can show you exactly how to do this. If you love this lesson, share it with somebody you know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you love this lesson, I just published a recent video on the world's easiest breakfast for burning visceral fat. I give you 7 options, 1 option for every day of the week. Check out this clip. I'll see you in that video.
Okay, guys, so that's it. Fasting is tremendously beneficial to you. I bet a lot of you didn't know that fasting did all of this for you, and it works amazing, guys. All of these benefits that he stated in this video are great. You actually notice them. The energy is huge. You have tons of energy. The smartness, the sharpness, absolutely huge. The fat that melts off your body is absolutely huge. You do want to stay up on electrolytes, like I was saying. That's very important. And you do kind of want to fucking put a feast day in there as well during the month, just to keep your metabolism up a little bit. Now, I hope this helps, guys. Got many more videos to come with much more information that I've learned, and then I'm going to transition into some training videos and exercises that I've been using to better my health from the very beginning. I'm going to start with what I started with and bring you through all the exercises that I've started with and progressed through in my, we'll say, 6 months now of running this solid diet and health and lifestyle. So with that being said, guys, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It would help me tremendously. Hit that like button too, please. It helps the algorithm. I could really use it. I would appreciate that greatly. And yeah, other than that, I hope you all have an absolutely blessed day. Stay safe, eat healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.